So 44-year-old Phillip Rivers comes out of retirement to save the Colts. And I actually think this is a good move. I really do, because that offense is pretty damn complicated, and you're in December.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have time to teach this offense to a new guy and slow people down and slow the growth, slow the install package. So this might be their only move, and it's the best move they could have made. I would look past his age for 1 minute and just remember that this guy can run this offense, and they're not going to ask him to do too much.
Some problems don't have a solution.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I think this is one of those problems that likely does not have a solution. That they got off to such a good start. You're like, okay, they're the team nobody saw coming. And then Daniel Jones slowed down a little bit, and then he got hurt. And then Riley Leonard got hurt. I always want to call him Trent Richardson. Anthony Richardson broke his eye socket.
In pregame.
Yeah, just
which shocks me.
On a band. It was just a terrible accident.
Right.
And they're cooked. I hear what you're saying.
They could be cooked.
Bringing in him may be your best bad. What's the line from Margot? This is the best bad plan we have.
This is all we got.
This is the best bad plan they have.
I think you could legit start him on Sunday and not miss a beat offensively, at least as far as play calling. He knows this stuff. Steichen was his quarterback coach. They speak the same language.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've talked. Hey, look, can we run this? Can we do this? Can we do X, Y, and Z? Is this that? You're way ahead of anybody you could bring in. Now, as far as physically,
that's the question.
Brady played at 45.
Yeah, but he never took time off.
True, but Aaron Rodgers is still
never
banging
took
around.
Time off.
I think it could help him. Maybe it heals up everything that ails you.
Yeah, I'd be surprised. He hasn't played in 5 years. That's not even one season. Perhaps you heal. He hasn't played in 5 years.
5
years.
Years,
a really long time.
The other amazing
I saw Eric Weddle come off the couch and play safety.
But Eric Weddle, now this goes to whether you think Phillip Rivers is a Hall of Famer, but he resets his Hall of Fame clock now.
He has to be on the active roster.
Once he's activated,
so being on the practice squad doesn't reset.
No, he's got to get on the active. He doesn't have to play, but he has to be on the active roster.
Well, we think he's doing this because he thinks he's going to be on the active roster.
My guess is he's going through practice reps to see if he can do it. If he can still play, then he'll say, "Sign me, let's go ahead."
And then it resets the clock.
And then he'll have to wait 5 years before he's
Now, do you think he's a Hall of Famer?
Of course I do.
You do?
I'm surprised when people say that you don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
Mason doesn't think he is.
I know.
Evan Cohen, our early morning man, doesn't. Travis doesn't. John would say he's a top 10 passer of all time based on his numbers.
Right. This is where it gets funny because I've heard these arguments before, different sports, even in football, where when you're making a case for a guy, they'll say rings don't matter. And then they'll move the goalpost when the guy has numbers and say the rings matter more or MVPs matter more. The guy's got numbers. Anybody that's played against Phillip Rivers or played with him knows he's a Hall of Famer.
Now, why don't you think he is one, Travis?
Because there was never a time where I felt like he was the best player at his position. There was never a time where I felt like he was must-see TV.
Okay.
And I think like the postseason stuff that we were talking about earlier with Mason and Ireland, that was the biggest difference between LaDainian Tomlinson, who is his contemporary for a great part of this. When you would flip on SportsCenter at the end of the night and you knew Charger highlights were coming, you were sticking around to see LT.
Okay.
You wanted to see LT and what he did. And
right. Because they're flashy and Phillip Rivers didn't have the greatest style, his throwing motion looked like a shot put.
I think
it was ugly.
I think he's in that category of just in the next group.
Let me read this out. Comeback Player of the Year, 8-time Pro Bowler. He led the league in passing in 2010. He was the co-leader for touchdowns in 2008. Passing ratings leader in 2008. Completion percentage leader in 2013. He's on the Chargers' 50th anniversary team. Now, this goes into college. He was great there. There's great stuff here. So if you make the Pro Bowl 8 times, at some point you're either at the top or near the top.
Mm-hmm.
Now, watching him play may not give you the warm and fuzzies, but he was one of the best quarterbacks to ever do it while he was there.
Yeah, the warm and fuzzies matter a great deal to me when it comes to this stuff. Like, it needs to be one of those guys that I feel if I'm telling the story of the early 2000s in the NFL, do I have to mention Phillip Rivers' name? No, I don't.
But there might be some other guys you have to put in there that are in the Hall of Fame already. I know.
That's what I'm saying. That's the whole point. Like, there are other guys. You're going to mention Aaron Rodgers. You're going to mention Tom Brady. You're going to mention Peyton Manning. Like, those are the guys that come to mind as Hall of Famers.
Okay.
He's in that next group down.
Ask me how many games he missed as a starter.
I'm guessing it's very low.
0.
Yeah.
0. I mean, how can we discount this? From 2006 to 2020, he didn't miss a game.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're defining greatness. I know the catch is, what did Harbaugh say about the catch? Is as clear as mud. But now it's like we're parsing through what's great and what's not. To last this long, to take the ball every single start, and to be good at the same time is not Hall of Fame worthy?
I think you just answered your own question. To be good. I think he was very good.
I short sold him. To be great. 63,000 yards makes you great.
I don't feel it. I don't feel it.
421 touchdown passes makes you freaking
Played
great.
A long time. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. It's Hall of Fame worthy. It's crazy. I don't know how we're sitting looking at these numbers and say it's not worthy of the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, because
when he dwarfs some guys that are already in.
Yeah, well, that argument never works for me, because I think there's a lot of people that are in that probably shouldn't be in all of these Hall of Fames. But it's more than the numbers are part of the story, but it's not the story. I think that if you can tell the story only with the numbers, you better be ones across the board or very close to it. He's in that next group. He's in the Hall of very, very good, but the Hall of Fame should be for Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers and Peyton Manning and Tom Brady.
Why Brett Favre?
Guys.
The guy threw more picks than anybody in league history.
Won a Super Bowl.
Because he won a Super Bowl and he won an MVP. That's what I mean. So it's either the rings count or they don't.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers didn't win
and an MVP, and for a period of time.
And LaDainian is in. And LaDainian had some postseason flameouts.
And an MVP.
Antonio Gates is in the Hall of Fame. The guy that was throwing in the ball is not.
Yeah.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
I think that's fair to say that.
I didn't even bring that up. That was Mason that brought that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So the pass catcher's in the Hall of Fame, but the guy throwing in the ball isn't? So Megatron goes in, Stafford doesn't?
I think Stafford will go.
Well,
I know. I'm
Stafford's
just
going to
making
go.
a point. Yeah, making a point.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to me. It really doesn't. I mean, I get there's a lot of Charger apathy, but to watch him play.
Honestly, being a Charger has nothing to do with it for me. Like, it'd be just the reason, like Brett Favre being a member of the Packers, did you feel it? To me, it's the numbers. And there was a period of time, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, where Brett Favre, you had to see what he did that weekend. You had to see it. It may
pick or touchdown.
Maybe.
Right.
But it was must see. And
So,
Rivers never felt like
Phillip
that.
Rivers was boring.
That I'll give you. I told you his throwing motion is gross. It's terrible. I cannot believe you're that good throwing the ball like that, but he is. He really is that good. And he's got he's 134, 106. So he's above 500 as a starter. What knocks him out of the Hall of Fame besides the fact that he was not sexy to look at? Which I think is not a good argument.
Again, for the people saying that he's not a Hall of Famer, he didn't win an MVP, and he didn't win a Super Bowl.
Didn't go to a Super Bowl. Didn't even sniff it. I think one AFC championship game, which he played in, which was a really baller performance because he showed up on one leg.
And I'm not a honk for the guy. I don't even like the dude, to be honest. He drove me crazy. He talked too much trash.
Oh, really?
He does
oh,
run
my
his mouth
God,
a
he
lot.
talks trash.
Really?
I used to, beg for people to knock him out.
Oh.
Who was the guy that helped him up off the ground in that one famous clip where then he's just wearing him? He's like, dude, he's like, dude, don't do that in my ear.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're barking up the wrong tree, dude.
What's the closest I could come to saying what I want to say without saying it?
I don't know what you want to say.
Okay, well, yeah. 2 letters. A-H.
Oh,
A-hole.
he was an a-hole.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's that guy. I can't stand him, but to me, his talent is undeniable. Yeah, you have to give him that. But
Yeah, but see, I don't know if you're a great